Well, it's funny that you mentioned about tough schedules, Chris, because now from the game in Norman, Oklahoma, we're going to segue into the game in Gainesville, Florida, hosting South Florida on Saturday afternoon, and what a game that everyone thought was going to be an easy game for the Gators, Chris. They thought that this was going to be another moment where DJ Ladway was going to get his name called, and he was going to just be able to name his score on South Florida. That did not happen. Florida gets stunned by South Florida, 18-16. Fourth quarter
Wow.
kick by Grammatica wins them the ball game. And if you're Florida, we talked about Oklahoma, Chris. They got a hard schedule, and indeed they do. But if you look at the schedule for the Florida Gators, this is really, really bad. like where's the wins? You really start to ask those questions now of where are the wins, where are the quality wins at? Because you can't keep trotting the team that looked lethargic like that on Saturday afternoon against an LSU, against a Texas,
Miami.
Miami. Heck, we'll talk about the team out in Starkville in a little while. Like
Hmm.
you look at that schedule right now. Like you start asking those questions. I am very serious right now, folks. So, what were your thoughts, Chris, about this implosion in Gainesville on Saturday?
Yeah. Florida's offense looks very inept, and it doesn't look like an offense that features a high-profile five-star quarterback who is a returning starter, Heisman hopeful. Very, very good roster, supporting cast around him. Florida's O line is good. Eugene Wilson on the outside, solid running back core as well. Um, the players are there. The defense is stout. The defense played okay, but the play calling and the execution on offense, especially, it's extremely concerning. If you're a Florida fan, and something has to be rectified. It has to be rectified right now. Um, it's just little things too, Kory. Like late in the ball game, you're ahead. First and 10, you're trying to milk the clock, make things as difficult for South Florida as possible to, if they were to get the ball, to drive and score. And you, instead of just handing the ball off, you throw the out route and it's incomplete on the RPO. Um, whether it's third and short and you run a wham concept with the wide receiver coming in to block a D tackle on a third and three run play. You do that 10 times out of 10, and I got my money on the D tackle, blowing that up every time. I don't care what wide receiver you got blocked. It could be Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden ain't blocking no D tackle. So it's things like that within the scheme and the awareness, the lack of coaching. I feel like in that aspect that is very concerning and will ultimately be the reason Florida will have a new coach next year if this continues.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I think I think you're right, man. Man, Chris, it like just looking at this team, and people talked about it, and clearly, if you watch the game, you could see it. It's like the same mistakes and just like undisciplined undisciplined
Yeah,
issues that you saw.
the guy spit on him.
Yeah.
Spit on the South Florida player getting unsportsmanlike penalty. Yeah, late in the game when you need to get the ball back.
When you need to get the ball in front of the referee. What is going
I
on?
mean, you can at least do like that. Can spit on the ground. You got to spit on somebody.
Come on now. Exactly. It's like what are we doing? So you know that lack of focus is predicated on your coach, your coaching staff, getting guys head in the game even when they're going through adversity. We've seen that with a lot of teams. That's what you do. And then you do something like that costs your team even more trials and tribulation in the drive, that ultimately you pretty much lose the game as a result. Like, I was beside myself, Chris, with what I saw on Saturday. That's all I can say. I was beside myself. I'm like, these same issues are happening again. And look, you listen to a lot of people around the area. I've been listening to a lot of Florida fans. They're fed up with it. Mm-hmm. And when you look at that schedule, Chris, when you look at this Florida Gators schedule, next week, they have to go to Death Valley against LSU. The following week, they have to go to Miami.
Mm-hmm. To Miami.
And then October 4th, Texas comes to Gainesville. And then you have to go back on the road to Texas A&M. And we all know how it is playing at College Station. That's one of the most scariest places to play. And the list goes on.
Man, you got to welcome Mississippi State to town.
Good luck. Good luck, because what we saw from the Bulldogs,
it don't look so easy anymore.
It doesn't look so easy anymore. So
yeah.
I don't know what to say, Chris. I'm sorry if you're a Florida Gators fan.
I know what to say. I know what to say. It's Billy Napier. You're on your last leg, buddy. We already knew coming into this season that Florida fans let you make it last year because they saw promise. We saw what was looking like a trend upwards in how this team closed the season, which should have carried over into this year with a lot of returning production. And your offense should have continued on that trajectory. And it's your offense. Yes, there was a dumb penalty made by a defensive player that sealed your fate. But it's your offense that lost the game, okay? You only put up 16 points against South Florida.
It's terrible.
Inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
And so, shout out to South Florida as well, Alex Golish, and getting the win. And that's a signature win that's been on the way for South Florida. If you've been keeping up with this program and the strides they have made over the last couple seasons. We really should have saw this coming, Kory. But, yeah, man, Florida, Billy Napier specifically, buddy, I'll tell you right now, the next 3 games that you talked about, Kory, he has to win 2 of them. You have to win 2 of them now.
Yeah. I think that's the saving grace for your job.
Games. If you beat, I think, we'll talk about it more in our show later in the week. This is actually the worst thing that LSU could have had happen. Is Florida now being desperate? Because that makes this game a lot more interesting. We're about to learn a lot about both teams in this game. Yeah. First conference game. LSU also has their own struggles. Trudez is now out a few games. Trudez Green, after getting injured against La Tech. And now Florida, their back is against the wall. This is a desperate gator that hasn't had any food in a few weeks and needs to kill this tiger to survive. Let's see how it plays out, Kory. It should be a fun game, but this isn't how, as a Florida fan, I think you wanted to enter your Death Valley experience.
Not at all. not at all, Chris. Yeah, this team, get ready, folks. If you're gonna watch this game this week, LSU, Florida's gonna be desperate in this ball game. Like Billy Napier,
we'll see it all. We might see some fake punts, fake field goals. Ain't no telling. They gonna pull out all the stops now, Kory. They got to.
Yeah, like you haven't seen a coach delve into his playbook like you're going to next Saturday. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So yeah, Chris. All I can say is a tough loss if you're a Florida fan. It's gonna get even tougher with the schedule. There's no excuses to be made about that. You got to play the schedule. That's what it's like playing in the SEC. And yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with the Florida Gators. But real quick, Chris, in terms of Alex Golesh, I'm going to say this right now. He is one of the hottest G5 coaches in the country right now. I don't think no one wants to mess around with the South Florida Bulls football team. We saw what happened in week 1 against Boise State. They took Boise State to the woodshed. They made Boise State look like a lower tier MAC squad in week 1. And then you come out week 2 and you do this against a team that, showed a lot of promise at media days and had like a star quarterback coming back to the program. You do this, yeah. I think Alex Golesh has something special down there in South Florida. And hey, if I'm him, I know that there's going to be people calling and blowing up your phone. I would stay at South Florida for a little while longer. You got a 12-team playoff now. You don't have to risk going to another program unless you want to be a top college football coach. I think you can stay put.
Yeah, he will be getting a lot of calls. That's for sure. I can see a couple SEC schools, checking on his interest at the end of the season if South Florida continues to have a great year. So, but no, definitely big shout out to Golesh and the staff and what they are doing at South Florida. They look like they have stamped themselves as the team that very well will make the playoff this year out the G5. It just continues. They continue to play as well as they have played. So we'll see. We'll see. But man, it's we have quite the college football season shaking out, Kory. Because I think Florida LSU will be absolute cinema. Now that we have this little caveat with Florida disappointing, and then I think South Florida, it's a scrappy team. If it's a close game, they just play one of those teams that will find a way to win. I'm curious to see who can get them on the ropes and really force them to have to put points up and put this team in a position where they have to. It's a high scoring game. Because I feel like any kind of low scoring, rough it out, tough it out kind of game, South Florida just seems built to win these kinds of games.
Absolutely. And it gets even interesting next week, Chris, as they have to go to Miami to take on the Hurricanes. So, hey, it's one thing of you beating Florida, Imagine what would happen if you
They
beat
beat Miami.
Miami. Oh
They're
my
gonna go in the top
God.
10.
Put them up there.
Yeah, have to.
You got to. You got to. And if this happens, Chris, is it safe to say we're looking at 2007 all over again?
Yeah, we're looking at 2007 all over again. We're looking at the state of Florida possibly having a couple of different head coaches because it ain't sweet over there for Mario Cristobal either in Miami. He needs it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard to sell the people on bringing you back if you lose to South Florida and then go on and not win the ACC. You gotta win the ACC at that point. So hey man, we got quite the season in the makings.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, man, what a crazy game in Gainesville. We'll see what happens with the Gators as they take on the LSU Tigers coming up this Saturday, and we'll see what happens with South Florida as their next game. It's against the Miami Hurricanes. So, week 3, it's gonna be crazy, man.
It's going to be crazy. I will let y'all know how everything looked after being at that game live and in person.
Yes.
Making a trip to Baton Rouge. So I can't wait. I can't wait. It does takes the top 25 sting off it with Florida losing, but I just we've been watching college football for a long time, man. I have a feeling now. LSU better come ready to play because I feel like Florida is going to play a good game now, like a really good game, even though it's on the road. Everybody, you might expect them to crumble, but we'll see. So it's going to be quite the matchup. So I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. I am as well. Should be a great week of games, and yeah, that one in particular, I can't wait for us to watch that game and talk about it and break it all down.